Nominated for his work in Fargo. Loved him in Dexter. Now in Life in Pieces, just to name a handful of this man's film and televisionography. Life in Pieces, Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, returns tomorrow night from a month-long break. Colin Hanks, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, bub.
Thought of you this past week when I had Barry Melrose on the show.
I know. I heard it.
Because you, as a diehard Los Angeles Kings fan,
yeah,
and they are now on a nice little tear over the last week.
They're on a good little tear. Made some nice little additions.
Yeah,
little Robbie Blake stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, showing Vegas how it's done.
Yes, very excited about that. Odd that now Vegas is. I gotta keep an eye on that.
Yeah,
but that, I mean, what a story that is.
That's been incredible.
That's insane.
But you are the one who informed me. I don't remember when in our vast friendship.
Yeah.
Of the curse of the 1993 Los Angeles Kings. It's the Marty McSorley curse. That
it's
I brought up to
such a
Barry
unique
Melrose.
thing, and I think there's so many, shall I just say, Americans that are just completely unaware of it. I mean, the gist of it is Marty McSorley was playing with an illegal stick, and it got pulled. He got pulled, and it changed the whole course of the Stanley Cup Finals that year. It happened in Game 2. Kings had won Game 1. Most of your viewers and listeners already know the history, but the levels to which this conspiracy / controversy. I mean, it's unreal. It was the 100th. Anniversary of the Stanley Cup. So it was the 100th time that it had gone out. That year. Everyone wanted Maple Leafs versus Canadians in the final. But Canada's deported son, Wayne Gretzky, and the Los Angeles Kings ruin it. But then also there's all these, these other little facts. The Canadians team, the Habs, that was the last all North American squad to win a Stanley Cup.
So no Finns, no Swedes,
nope.
no Russians, no nothing.
None. It was all North Americans. And
did you know that, Bronfman?
For years, everyone thought, it's the curse of Marty McSorley. The Kings will never win another Stanley Cup. But then, hey, we won 2. Thank goodness. And I remember, there he is right now, Mr. McSorley. When the Kings were going back into the finals for, that first cup run, second cup run.
Yep.
But when they won the first time, there was an interview with him and he's like, I still got the stick. It's in a closet somewhere. But then when we won, the curse now is that no Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup since then.
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
It's been 25 years now.
And there's all this talk about whether the Habs, brought the Kings stick box into their dressing room and measured all the sticks, and did the cops turn a blind eye? I mean, there's all sorts of conspiracy.
Well, because the Royals apparently, or the Yankees knew that George Brett's bat had too much pine tar on it. Back in the day, when Billy Martin waited for the proper moment, waited for Brett to hit a home run in the 9th inning, waited when he needed it most, busted it out.
Yes.
That they knew that. So the Canadians had to have known that the stick, other than just like, that's an oddly curved stick, just noticing it on his shift on the ice.
That's also the footage of George Brett storming out of the dugout, right? Yeah, that is so not a hockey move. You will never see a hockey player do that. Like McSorley just went, it got me. Okay. And then he just went into the sin bin. Like that was it.
I guess it's different in the fact, when McSorley's got cuts on his face and he's missing some teeth.
Yeah.
Baseball fights.
Yeah.
These guys just, they dance
really
around. They
really
they kind of look at each other and go, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
That's more often than not.
McSorley doesn't have any stories about trips to Vegas, though, the way that George Brett does.
Right.
If you know what I'm talking about. All of you kids out there can YouTube that.
Did you watch the Olympics?
I did watch the Olympics.
Okay.
Love the Olympics. Big fan.
Were you watching the hocky, though? There's no NHL players.
I was watching the hockey. I actually liked the fact that there were no hockey NHL players in it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a galvanizing component to a lot of the squads. Definitely for the U.S., but then obviously for every nation.
The OAR.
The OAR. Don't get me started on the OAR.
Is that what they're the Olympic athletes from Russia?
Yeah, I'm not big on that.
That's the worst sports moniker since the World League of American Football.
waffle.
I had
WLAF.
I had season tickets to the Sacramento Surge. That's 100% true.
Say what?
The Sacramento Surge played in the World League of American Football. They won the World Bowl in the second season.
Was that 91 or 92?
Folded.
91 or 92, Colin?
92. Okay. And then the league folded.
So they were the last to hoist whatever the hell that trophy was?
They were the last. Jefferson Starship played We Built the City on Rock and Roll halftime. The Surge won, and then they said, we can't do this anymore.
By the way, you know who played on that team?
Dave Archer?
Goldberg, the wrestler.
That's right.
On the Saskatchewan Surge?
No, the Sacramento
Surge.
I thought you said Saskatchewan Surge.
No, that's the Saskatchewan Rough Riders of the CFL.
So the Sacramento Surge.
Oh, but hey, by the way, a lot of the players from the Sacramento Surge, when the Sacramento Gold Miners of the Canadian Football League came to play, a lot of the Surge players just moved over. I mean, how many segments do we have?
Who was the starting quarterback of the Sacramento Surge?
Dave Archer.
Ben Bennett? Oh, that was 1991.
Dave Archer. He's got it right. He was the World Bowl II MVP, I'm being told. See, this is the day when you wake
David
up
Archer.
and you think to yourself, there's no way I'm going to talk about the World League of American Football.
Oh, yes.
With Colin Hanks.
Oh, absolutely.
And yet I do that. All right, I want to take a break and come back and give the people what they want.
All right.
Because, again, I mentioned to Brockman that you are concerned that this is a potentially played idea, because I ask you about it all the time.
Yes.
You've been asked about it as well on various other talk shows.
But you bring up a very good point. There's always a new coaching class. So there's always new blood, fresh meat, whatever you want to call it. So
the famed, what type of stepfather would a head coach be?
Yes. And we got a grizzled veteran coming back into play. So I think we gotta do this.
Yes,
we gotta do it.
Back in 60 seconds, and we got a great start bench cut for Colin Hanks. Life in Pieces Thursdays on CBS at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But back in 60 seconds with Colin. All right, Colin Hanks back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Always great when you stop by, sir.
Yeah, I always have so much fun when I'm here.
Good. So again, walk everybody through the genesis of this idea, or to me, it is a revelation, better than an idea.
It is one of the most fun interactive games you can have while watching football.
Okay.
I was sitting on the couch one day with the old man watching some football, and they cut to Charlie Weiss, who was the head coach of. We were watching some college football that day.
Notre Dame.
As the head coach of Notre Dame. And my dad just spurted out, I wonder what kind of stepfather he would be. And thus a game was born. And so now,
what stepfather was Charlie Weiss? Can you recall? Can you recall he's the George Washington or the Adam in this Garden of Eden?
Gosh,
do you recall?
I do not recall.
Okay,
I do not.
But he was
recall.
a perfect one to start.
He was
this
a good
whole
one. Yeah,
off.
he was a good one. He had that sort of flat top that he had.
And you thought Sean McVay, when he was named, was the end of this because coaches are now too young?
Well, they're too young, yeah. I mean, it sort of struck me as he's the kind of guy that is not a stepfather. He's the kind of guy that, is dating your sister because he's so young. But, I mean, what I like about this game is it's kind of evolving.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just what's their phrase. But I got some new things here that I think people will find entertaining.
And as you pointed out in the previous segment, what is old is new again.
Yes.
Which, by the way, you could say that about stepdads all throughout Los Angeles.
Okay. Numerous stepdads.
For instance.
Yeah. You can have more than one stepdad.
Yes.
It is possible.
Okay, so first up is new yet old Raiders head coach John Gruden.
Unbelievable.
And we'll put the photograph up for our television audience.
How exciting it is to have him back.
Okay.
I got two for Grudes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone calls him that, but I'm going to call him that. Grudes. Yeah. Okay. So the first one is he finds out how much your haircut cost, and he goes, next time I'm taking you to my barber. But, and this one is a little bit sneaky.
Yeah.
He's also the stepdad that has a medical marijuana prescription, but doesn't admit it. He refuses to admit it. And no matter how much you try to call him out on it, he'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the type of stepdad John Gruden is.
But he gets in that backyard once the kids go to bed. He steps out into that backyard for his, cigar time.
And soon what happens in Vegas will stay there.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Next up, let's put up the photograph of the new head coach of the New York Giants, Pat Shurmur. This is going to be an interesting one.
Pat Shurmur. This one is, he was a little bit hard at first, but then it actually, you realize this is the stepfather that is not invested so much in your life, but is incredibly invested in his real estate business. And he will come in and will just say, hey, champ, sold 2 condos today. And that's
Pat Shurmur.
That's about as deep as that relationship goes.
You figured him out better than Giants fans have so far. So you're a step ahead. Next up, this is going to be a good one. The new head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel. What sort of stepdad is Mike Vrabel?
Here's the weird thing about Mike Vrabel.
Yes.
He's only 9 years older than you. Your stepdad is now only 9 years older than you. Yeah. Not even double digits. That's all.
That's it?
He's just 9 years older than you.
He's the stepdad who's just
and that
awkwardly
is, he's
your
just
age.
Awkwardly your age,
okay.
Just a little bit more gray. You're not really, you're really more disappointed in your mom at that point. It's just like, Mom.
All right. That's now the new head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, Frank Reich. This is going to be an interesting one.
Frank Reich.
Right
okay.
Yeah.
So he is the guy
Yeah.
that was the junior business partner to your real dad. And he thinks it's hilarious. And he will say to you over and over and over again, not in a mean-spirited way. He's genuinely trying to get you in on how funny the irony is that, hey, your dad used to be my dad. Or your dad used to be my boss. But now I'm your boss. Isn't that funny?
Oh, my God.
That's what he's saying.
Ouch.
Interesting that Frank Reich being one of the great substitutes of all time.
Of all time.
Okay. This is going to be a good one.
Or he's a substitute? He could be a substitute teacher.
He could be.
I see him as a substitute teacher. I buy that.
I don't mind about being the business partner of the dad. We added this one late because we realized how in the world do we not have Matt Patricia? Right. Radio audience, on the left, we've got the Boston version of the really, Shaggy one, and now he's cleaned up.
This one.
Now he's cleaned up.
This
is
the one where the Patriots version of him. You go, oh dear God, what is my mom marrying? Who is my mom marrying?
Right.
That's going to be my stepdad. And then the Detroit version is on the wedding day. You go, maybe it won't be so bad. And that is that's like your thin straw there that you're grasping onto so bad.
It's the cleaned up version.
It's the cleaned up version.
I like it.
But what I love about this photo, still got that pencil behind the ear.
He does.
Still got that pencil behind the ear.
It's his thing. It's his thing. What would your thing be as a coach?
Oh, geez.
That's what we asked the other day. I'll tell you what mine would be. I'd still wear the whistle during the game.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Whistle.
I think I'd just be hands on the hips all the time. Just all the time.
Hands on hips is a great one.
All the time.
And then the last one here, Colin.
Yeah.
Technically not a head coach, but he was for about 3 hours.
Yes.
Josh McDaniels. What kind of stepdad would he be?
He's the stepdad that left your mom at the altar. He was gonna be your stepdad and then wasn't. Very quickly. The other one that I had was he's the personal trainer. He's your mom's personal trainer. And after they get married, he consistently says, "Great form, honey." So wherever he lands, wherever he lands.
And you thought
that's going to be the stepdad.
And you thought this had no more legs.
See, it's
and
a gift that keeps on giving.
There'll be a whole new class.
I think we got a new tradition.
There you go.
Patricia, also the guy who eats all the leftovers before you get a chance.
Oh, that's a good one. Look at you. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
What happened to last night's dinner?
You pass the potatoes? They're gone.
Yeah, gone. I ate them. I got them.
I like that one. Yeah. I like that one a lot.
There you go. We're workshopping. Let's play Start Bench Cut with Colin Hanks.
It's time. Start now. Bench. Just sit down and be quiet or cut.
Get out. All right, let's do the music one first. Because I know you're a a music fan of note.
I am.
And you did an incredible documentary on the history of Tower Records.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
much.
And then Nos Amis is a documentary that everybody needs to seek out about the band that was...
Eagles of Death Metal that were at the Bataclan.
That's at the Bataclan when all that awfulness went down. At any rate, you're a big music fan of note.
I am.
All right, music, please. Now, you have to start one, you have to bench one, you have to cut one.
I'm ready.
All right. Music festival you'd like to attend.
Oh.
Coachella, Lollapalooza, Jazz Fest.
Oh.
Start, bench, cut.
Okay.
Colin Hanks.
All right. So I'm gonna start the Jazz Fest.
You're going to start Jazz Fest?
I'm going to start Jazz Fest because there's something about that whole vibe of that city. I really want to soak all that in.
Okay.
And I've heard nothing but great things. I'm going to bench Lollapalooza, not because of anything that they've done, but I'll get there. I went to the touring one many, many moons ago. I'd love to go to Chicago, Grant Park. But Coachella...
The Turks visiting Coachella.
Coachella... I know you've worked hard to get here, put in a lot of time and energy, but I'm afraid we're going to have to go our separate ways. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Fantastic. So it's a start of Jazz Fest. That's an upset. I don't think any of us. That was a late ad on our start bench cut.
It's a gut feeling. It could be horribly wrong.
Now, one of my favorite start bench cuts that we've done here on the show. I got information from Chris Brockman's girlfriend about one of his favorite movies of all time.
Okay.
We played a start bench cut because The Fugitive is a remote drop for him and me.
Oh, okay.
Fugitive.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption, another remote drop.
Yeah.
But he didn't start any of those movies.
Twist.
He started You've Got Mail.
Twist. This is where I would cue up Tommy Lee Jones saying, "I don't care."
He started You've Got Mail because... Go ahead. You could pound the table for You've Got Mail. Pound the table.
That's all right. It's been pounded.
Pound the table. No, he doesn't know.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. I want to.
Freshman year of college, my mom came to visit. Surprise weekend. We went and saw You've Got Mail in the theater. So it holds a special place for me in that regard.
Gotcha.
So you could imagine when we told this to Jeff Garland when he was sitting in that chair a few weeks ago. he made a little bit of hay out of it. Then we went to Minnesota.
Yep.
For the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Super Bowl MVP, league MVP, Aaron Rodgers, told him this information. First thing he said is, it's not even the best Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movie.
Oh.
Which leads us to this start bench cut.
Okay.
Start bench cut. Joe versus the Volcano. Sleepless in Seattle. You've Got Mail.
Oh, wow.
Colin Hanks.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I am going to start Sleepless in Seattle, because it's a goodie. I'm gonna bench You've Got Mail. No, wait, no. Sorry,
his finger's still on the chess piece.
Let me rephrase this.
His finger's still on the chess piece.
I'm gonna bench Joe versus the Volcano.
Get out of here.
Because it's an underrated gem. There's a lot in there.
Okay.
It was ahead of its time.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, you're not going to appreciate this, You've Got Mail. I know you've worked hard to get to this point. You put in a lot of time and energy, but I'm afraid we're going to have to go our separate ways.
I don't care!
Wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Come on, FOX. So great.
Your dial-up service has been disconnected, sir.
Whack.
In all fairness, that's probably, of all of the movies of his that I've seen, and I have not seen all of them.
Okay.
That's the one I've probably seen the least amount of times.
You've seen Joe the Volcano more?
I've seen Joe versus the Volcano more. Absolutely. Which is not to say it's not good. I appreciate it.
Look, I stand by it.
Seth Rogen wrote an entire episode, like an entire arc on an episode of Undeclared, all about You've Got Mail.
Is that right? I
Yeah,
didn't even
he
know
wrote
that.
an entire, and he he felt very uncomfortable telling me that.
Well, so you were on Drunk History last night.
Yep.
You were kind enough to sit on the pod with me and Suze.
Yes.
That posts today, so I'll ask you to retweet that
love
shortly.
that. I
was
will.
a blast doing that. And Life in Pieces, man. congratulations on the success of this show.
Thank you, man.
Back in the mix, starting again tomorrow night after everybody taps out, thinking the Olympics is just, everybody, all the series have been tapping out.
Well, it's hard, hey, it's hard. Because it's only once every 4 years, and you kind of get roped into it, and you go, well, it's only 18 days in the next 4 years. I guess I got to commit to this.
Well, if you can't beat luge, put on a rerun. That's what they say in the business.
I'm all about that curling, though, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. All about the curling. And have been since 98.
Oh, so
I was in Germany, and the only Olympic coverage I could find was curling. So I hopped on that curling train and have been ever since. So this was a big one.
Well, Colin Hanks, I appreciate you getting off that curling train to join us here. Appreciate
every time.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.